Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching the video. Today's going to be a little bit different. So, one day I was sitting around, I was just thinking about um how cool those little vape pens look. Like those vape pens that people use, like the disposable vape pens, and sometimes they have like stars on the side of them, like you'll see like a race car display, or like sometimes it's like the moon, or like you'll see like a galaxy. And they even change, like as you I guess take a pull of the device, or as you switch the settings in the device, it will change, and you'll see like different displays and stuff like that. And I've always thought to myself, one, why do the manufacturers who make those, bother putting all of that technology into a little disposable vape that you're only going to keep for like 15 minutes and then throw in the garbage, right? And two, how much do they cost, right? Like, so I started thinking about it, and a bunch of my friends all use those little stupid vape things, those little nicotine vapes, and so I started like asking around and trying to figure out exactly, how much they cost and what the different brands and types were, and it's pretty, well spread, right? Like in terms of the cost, and based on how much nicotine is in it and how many pulls you get and how many puffs, and also how fancy the device is itself. But that only slightly matters, I've noticed. Um, and also, as I was kind of going through this, I was asking, some of my friends, like, "Hey, guys, what do you do with those things after you're done with them?" Like, and this one girl, she's like, "Oh, I put them in the recycle bin," and I was like, "What recycle bin?" It's like, there's no recycle bin for a fucking vape pen. Like, that would be like biohazard. You know what I mean? Like, what is so? Long story short, everybody throws them shits in the garbage. Like they just don't, they don't even bother. They throw them in the garbage and they're done with them. That's long story short. And it's very wasteful, and it's not only wasteful and bad for the environment, but I think it's also it's wasteful and abusive to technology and engineering, right? So what we're doing today is we're going to be taking a quick walk through just a quick document that I've put together. And this is a campaign that I'd like to launch, partnering with the EPA, that would essentially allow us to create um, disposable waste bins and kiosks set up in like outside of grocery stores and stuff like that. Like pretty much anywhere you go to, like, you know where those kiosks, guys. What's up, BB? What's up, Kit? Um, just so you guys know, we're filming a video for YouTube right now. I'm doing a quick lecture. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment, all that other good shit. But but yeah, so that's kind of what this is about, and also I've done a little bit of redesigning and engineering, and I've created a Reddit page as well, for enthusiasts to sort of join my campaign, in this fight for not only helping the environment, but also helping progress science. All right, so I talked to you a little bit about this, but let's kind of quickly go through some of the problems. So number one, obviously, vaping is bad for your health. Um, Obviously, it's terrible. You shouldn't vape. You shouldn't smoke any carcinogens. You shouldn't be smoking, period. But if you got to smoke, you got to smoke, whatever. You know what I mean? But vaping is bad for your health, right? Like, we don't even know the long-term effects of vaping, and if it's actually, better or worse for you than traditional cigarettes. The other thing is vaping is an expensive habit. Like, it costs money. Those little devices, as I mentioned, they cost money. Yeah, and even to charge them, costs money as well, and uses energy. Disposable vapes are obviously bad for the Earth's ozone layer. Disposable vapes are marketed towards children, which we know we don't like that shit, BB. They, sometimes they'll come in packaging that has like fruits and like all sorts of shit on it that would really, really attract a kid to even want to smoke, even if the kid has never smoked before a day in their life. And so that is something that should be thought of as well within this. And then the worst part is that improperly discarded vapes end up disturbing the Earth's ecosystem, and these things get into our soil. They can get into our water, and it can be very, very harmful for and toxic for animals and for our environment in general. So not only us, but it's actually bad for our Earth. So I've come up with two proposed solutions. Solution A is an Environmental Protection Agency vape recycle program. I explained to you a little bit about this earlier. It's one by essentially where we're partnering with the EPA to establish a series of kiosk bins that would sit outside of like Tops or like outside of your any local places where you see those other kiosk bins. Make a key, drop off cans, stuff like that. And essentially, that program would be geared towards collecting disposed vape pens and crediting the users who dispose of those vape pens so that they can buy more vape pens. And this partners not only with the EPA, but also with the manufacturers of those vape devices. And this is a completely unique idea that I've come up with. I don't believe anything like it exists. I've done a fair amount of research before writing this paper, and it's something I plan on writing and petitioning the EPA for a grant to help us establish this. Right. So solution B is to donate to the scientific community, and this is what I'm calling STEM cycle learning. So this is something that I've established back in 2019, by where I partnered with a couple of local schools in Miami-Dade County to gather old laptops, desktops, equipment that they were actually throwing in the garbage, and making sure that I set up a program by where I could donate that equipment. Well, I would refurbish it, fix it, and donate that equipment to schools and to children that are in need of computers, technology, and any equipment that they could use within STEM. So this is not a new initiative, but I'd like to add more light to this initiative by coining the phrase STEM cycle learning, and also I'd like to make sure that I can partner with the EPA to make this vision a reality through legislation, i.e., create fines and restrictions that will stop companies from throwing out computers, laptops, keyboards, monitors, etc. So these things are very bad for the environment to be just thrown in the garbage, and we should be very responsible in making sure that we recycle all of our used electronic equipment. So far, I hope this is making sense, guys. I hope you guys are not asleep. I hope this is resonating, but I'll carry on. So why do I think that these things are worth so much, right? Now, I have one here. It's just a simple vape pen. As you see, I've refitted, I've refactored it. And well, if you think about it, there's a bunch of shit that's in there. I'll just be quite honest with you. There's a lithium rechargeable battery. There's a USB-C port. There's a TFT color LCD display. There's a microcontroller board with hard key button, and that can be reprogrammed with various other software such as like Python or Andrios. And then also I'll show you guys another really cool thing I've been able to do with it later as well. Just using a tool called Selenium. But also inside of this device is an air pressure sensor. So as you're taking a pull of the vape pen, it actually knows how much you're pulling, and that is actually going back to a sensor on the board, and it's actually able to give you a visual display of what that air pressure is. So really cool stuff that we're throwing on the garbage. And then last but not least, a temperature adjust actuator, which basically allows you to adjust the temperature. There's like a little metal like rod that runs on the inside of them, and those can heat up to create more of a vape effect, or to cause more smoke and combustion. And essentially, that is the temperature adjust actuator that allows the device to know how much it's giving it or how much it needs or whatever, based on what setting you've put. So lots of really cool technology included in one of these devices that we just throw directly into the garbage like every day, right? Now, going into a little bit, let's talk about Solution A. So Solution A, this is the EPA Vape Recycle Program, or what I'm calling EPA VRP. I don't know, it's just a cute little fucking acronym I made up. What's up, AB? Holler at you in a minute, AB. Give me 1 second. I'm doing a YouTube video on fucking vape pens and shit like that. So a program like this would basically consist of a network of kiosks, drop boxes located across the country. They'd be outside of grocery stores, 7-Elevens, etc. People who drop off their vapes would receive a digital credit, which they could apply to their next vape. And eventually these things act as like a cash voucher towards their next vape pen. If they're going to vape anyway, they're vaping anyway, let them vape anyway. They're going to vape anyway. You know what I mean? What we're trying to do is save the environment. If they want to kill themselves, let them kill themselves. But at least let them know that while in killing themselves, they're actually helping further humankind and allow for more children who wouldn't typically have access to equipment and devices for stem cell research and I'm sorry for stem cell research and for STEM engineering research activities and learning activities. This would actually enable that, and so um, that's kind of what the purpose is here. Solution B. As I'm walking through this, guys, I quickly threw there's like 8 slides here. You guys probably think, I don't know what you think, but I'm just saying this took me like 10 minutes to write up. Like this is stuff I just go and I just think of, and it just spits right out of me. No AI is used for this. So I'm being completely transparent when I tell you that as I move on to solution B, I realize that there really is no solution B. It really is all a part of the same thing, right? But I'll walk you through it as if I didn't just figure this out as I'm going. But solution B is to donate to scientific community STEM cycle learning. And STEM cycle, again, as I mentioned to you guys, it's a cause that was started by myself, and it combines scientific, technology, engineering, mathematics community with electronic waste recycle community. And these two communities today exist. That is to say, there is a STEM community and there was also a recycle waste community, right? And those two communities are not connected, right, or conjoined, and it makes sense, right? One is about garbage, and typically you would think of like recycling plastics and papers and metals and things like that, but there's a large portion of that which actually feeds directly right back into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Particularly when you talk about recycling of metals and precious rare earths and things like that. But it extends beyond that as well. So as we are looking through this particular lecture, you'll see that we are covering vape pens and us reusing those vape pens for various purposes. And yeah, so I'd like to start a petition to allow this to happen. And like I said, I've created a Reddit page, and I would love to see any other engineers or enthusiasts or coders who are interested in this project. Please feel free to sign the petition. And we are working towards getting a grant from the EPA to further this cause and to allow for this thing to actually happen. But in the meantime, between time, I'd love for you guys to submit some of your ideas for ways in which you can actually repurpose some of these vape pens. So as you guys can see, I've done a couple of different iterations of what can be done with a vape. So just starting off, and again, these are things that we throw in the garbage. So just starting off, there's a Windows 95 file system hack, which allows for external memory storage. I can show you guys a brief demo of that, and that demo will be here. I will also show you guys a brief demo of you remember the game Snake from the old Nokia cell phones? You guys are probably way too young to remember that, but anyway, I can show you guys a simulated version of that running. I was not actually able to get that to run on my particular device, on my particular RAS, but I've seen people have a lot of success with this on using it across the Craze devices, which are slightly different. I use a different software that I haven't fully nailed down yet, but I'm pretty sure once I get it, I'll be able we'll be able to do something with that as well. And then obviously, as I mentioned to you, there are some temperature and sensor gauges and actuators as well inside of this lighter. Inside of this device, which allows you to check the temperature of a standard recyclable lighter as well inside. And lots of really cool stuff that you can really do with these things. So please, guys, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what video you guys want to see next. And on my last slide here, you'll see a petition for the EPA initiative. So if you guys like videos like this, please make sure you hit the like button, as well as drop me a comment. I always answer all my comments. We're a small channel. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the summer. We're really, really fucking close. Just need you guys' help. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. More shit to come.